There's unconditional kindness in all cultures around, and it's a really beautiful thing.
It was such a great start to this amazing trip, and it's something I'll always remember.
Really just trying to be helpful and friendly, and I'll never forget it.
And it was a really cool thing to be a part of.
And we are still friends till today.
When we were younger, we were taught not to talk to strangers. But as we got older, that rule that we were once taught was broken down by people's random acts of kindness. I asked a group of my friends one simple question. Tell me a time when a stranger was nice to you for no reason at all. Here are those stories.
So I was 20 years old, and it was my first time traveling internationally alone. And it was like 5 in the morning. I had arrived at the Auckland airport, super tired and disoriented. And I went to go buy a bus ticket at one of those automatic dispensers. And I barely had any cash on me. And so I put in my money, and basically it took my money without giving me a ticket. The older man had seen what had happened, and he just kindly offered for me to take a taxi ride with him to the city center. And I did. And he was just a really sweet guy. And he had said that, he had a son around my age, and if his son was ever in that same situation as me, he would hope that someone would help his son too.
I was on my lunch break and I was just about to walk back into the hospital, and a car pulled up and flagged me over, so I went to go check it out, see if they needed some help. And this woman ended up giving me a bag that was full of masks that she had made at home, like really beautiful cloth masks. I just asked that I give them to healthcare workers who need it. And it was really cool to get to be a part of her kind act. So I got to bring those in and give them to people. And everyone was just like so surprised and just so taken aback by this really selfless act. And then it turned out that it was someone that I went to school with, that it was her mom. And so I got to, when I found that out, got to thank her and just like have that come full circle.
I was in southern Thailand. I remember being along the beach and it just started pouring. So what I did is I decided to go for a swim. It was so beautiful. Went into the warm water, pouring down rain. And the next thing I know, a local Thai man comes up to me and just starts talking to me in broken English. And we start chatting back and forth. They ended up offering me a beer. We ended up hanging out in the water together with this magnificent backdrop and becoming friends. And then they actually ended up inviting me and my friends to dinner later that night. So we actually ended up meeting with this group of, they were a Thai bicycle team that was traveling around the country, and for no reason at all, they decided to befriend the white guy in the water, and that's the beauty of traveling.
One day in New Zealand, we went to a small, remote little town trying to find a campsite. And of course, there's one bar in the middle of nowhere. And so we have to stop in to get a beer, of course. And we started chatting with this lady at the bar. She's super nice, really friendly. And she says, well, what are you doing for breakfast tomorrow? And we're like, I don't know, eating something out of our van, probably. And she said, oh, well, come over, I'll cook you breakfast. You can do laundry if you want. And that's exactly what we did. We went over the next morning. She cooked us like a full omelet. It was delicious. We got to do laundry in her house for free, which is huge, as any traveler knows. And then as a parting gift, she gave us Fran, our little lamb, as a souvenir to always remember New Zealand and her kindness.
So turn of events, my bus left me. I got a hitchhike with a bunch of people from Germany that are learning English in school, and they took me to a swing. So now I'm going to do a huge swing I spent $10 on that's going to oversee the whole city of Banos. This is what happens when you just, bad things turn to good things. It's amazing.
Il y a une dizaine d'années environ, je suis partie faire un voyage en vélo de 900 km avec 2 de mes meilleurs amis le long du Danube. Et les 3 premiers jours, on a eu un temps absolument affreux. Il a plu non-stop pendant les 3 jours. Et après 2 nuits sous la pluie, la tente était complètement trempée. Et le 3e soir, on était là, mais c'est pas possible, on peut pas dormir sous la tente ce soir, c'est la catastrophe. Du coup, on a commencé à frapper aux portes des gens, on a frappé aux portes des églises pour juste demander à pouvoir dormir dans un garage, dans un hangar ou dormir au sec pour la nuit. Et évidemment, personne nous a ouvert la porte. On a toqué pendant des heures à toutes les portes. Et au bout d'un moment, il y a eu un couple d'amants très sympas qui non seulement nous ont ouvert la porte de chez eux, mais nous ont donné un lit pour dormir, nous ont lavé nos vêtements, nous ont fait cuire des pizzas et nous ont donné des bières fraîches. Et c'était vraiment un truc inoubliable qu'ils nous ont offert ce soir-là.
I was studying abroad, and some girlfriends and I were heading out to a party. We were 21 and dumb and wearing way too high of heels and trying to walk way too far. And this random stranger woman who was staying at the same hotel as us offered us a ride, and there were probably 5 of us. And it went above and beyond what she needed to do, and was just super sweet and got us to our party. And we had a fantastic night, and that moment has always just stood out to me.
One time I was driving by myself out in southern Washington, running super low on gas, like just running on fumes. And I pulled into a gas station. I tried to pay for the gas, but all of their credit card machines were down. I had like no money, no coins, nothing. And I knew the next nearest gas station was like 10 plus miles away, and I wasn't gonna make it. I went inside to talk to the person, and there was just nothing I could do. So I started walking back to my car, and this guy walked up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder and said that he was kind of overhearing my conversation and that he had gone around to a few people who were at the gas station and asked if they had any spare change or money. So he gathered $13 and gave it to me to fill up my gas tank. And I just thought that that was really kind for him to do something without, me really asking anybody. And then it was also really kind for all of the other people at the gas station to give him a little bit of money to give to me. So I definitely tried to pay that one forward soon after that happened.
A friend and I stayed in a hostel in Auckland. We had to extend our booking for another weekend, but the whole hostel was booked, and so was every other hostel in Auckland. Our solution was to buy a tent and go to a campsite, but it was supposed to be a very rainy and cold weekend, and both of us already started to feel sick and getting colds. And the morning we were supposed to leave the hostel, while eating breakfast, we got to know 2 girls, and within minutes of talking to them, they offered us their rooms. We stayed in, paid for the rooms, and while traveling through New Zealand, we met like 4 or 5 times, and we are still friends till today.
My story begins in Vietnam when I was motorbiking with my friend Mo, and we're in the middle of nowhere, super hot out in the desert. We're sharing a motorbike, and it broke down, and I don't know how far we were from the hostel we're staying at. We could not get this bike to work, and there wasn't any people around or anything until this one lonely biker came along and saw that we were stranded. And so he decided to stop, and he helped us out, had a little toolbox he busted out, checked everything out, and he got it to run. And Mo and I were saved that day. When people do this, it makes you want to return the favor in your lifetime.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you go out and spread some kindness as well. In this world today, we need it.